Hello Spartans! In my previous video I shared the most relevant concepts and ideas you should be aware of when preparing for a technical interview. Today I will discuss how to prepare for a technical interview. I will explain how to approach the job specification and how to prioritize your learning. And now, roll the intro. I've noticed that some YouTubers tend to simply throw a bunch of questions and answers at you, but I think that's not very helpful. Interviewers can ask you almost anything, often with different twists, so trying to memorize answers is pretty much impossible. Instead, I believe in having a broad knowledge of cybersecurity and a solid grasp of fundamentals. This way you can easily learn and understand whatever comes your way. You'll be able to connect the dots, remember what is important, and let go of the rest. Now here is the process I suggest for preparing for technical interviews. The first step is study the job spec thoroughly. Look closely at the requirements and nice-to-haves to understand your responsibilities and the technical stack that they use. As an example, the cloud provider, the SIEM, the EDR, etc. Take the job title and do a bit of research to get a broader understanding of the role and any additional responsibilities that you might have. This is especially important if you are switching fields. For example, a security engineer is expected to know how to harden a cloud environment based on CIS benchmarks or other high-level standards. The second step is identifying overlaps. You need to compare the job spec with your experience and look for commonalities in tools and processes. These will be key points during the interview to make a strong case for yourself. For instance, if you have experience with Sentinel-1 EDR but they use Falcon instead, the concepts largely overlap, but the features and menus might differ. Your goal as a cybersecurity professional is to be an expert in the concepts, not just in the products. Different companies might use different technologies and products to secure their networks, but the underlying principles remain the same. The third step is studying the concepts that you are less familiar with. You need to take the time to learn and understand any concepts or tools you are not well versed in. The level of detail will depend on the role and the interviewer. For instance, if someone asks you how to protect a web application against cross-site scripting or perhaps SQL injection, you might mention web application firewalls. You can talk about rules, false positives, and scalability, but you probably won't be expected to explain how WAFs process rules to match traffic. This kind of question might come from someone working at a FANG trying to flex their useless knowledge, but what is more important is understanding how a concept or tool fits into the bigger picture, rather than diving deep into implementation details. As I was reviewing the entire material that I shared with you in this video, I've realized that most of the ideas fall under one of four categories. The first one is concepts, like the CIA triad, log management, the concept and the idea, not the implementation, zero trust, etc. The second one is frameworks, standards, and procedures. And here you have things like the cyber kill chain, the NIST 861, and the log management, the implementation itself. Then we have tools which tend to be the practical implementation of concepts, processes, frameworks, etc. Then we have areas or fields, which are security operations, security engineering, GRC, which rely on the three categories that I just mentioned. Now let's be real here. All the concepts that I have mentioned will take you years to fully understand and connect. And that's okay. Most people, even the ones that have been in the industry for at least 3 years, understand about 50% of these concepts at best. Now my advice to connect all of these is to start with the basic concepts and understand them very well. Then move on to frameworks, standards, and processes. With these, your goal should be to stay at a high level without trying to memorize every single detail. For example, with the NIST 861, you just need to remember the phases and what needs to be done at each phase. The actual implementation will vary from company to company. Remember, these are just guidelines. Tools are going to be specific to your role. Unless you are working in offensive security, where you need to really understand the tools that are used by the professionals in depth, or in tech support for a particular product, getting too caught up in learning tools isn't necessary. As long as you understand their features, purpose, and fundamentals, you can always Google how to use them. Finally, the areas and the fields are something that you can't memorize. What is important to understand is how each area fits within an organization and how they work together to keep it safe. You will pick up the specific details of your area as you gain more experience. And that's it, Spartans. Preparing for technical interviews is tricky because it really depends on the role, company, interviewer, and area you are going for. But by now, you should have a better idea of what you need to know to stand out. Learning how to read a job spec, where to focus your efforts, and how to filter out the unnecessary stuff takes time and experience. You won't get it right the first time, the second, or even the third, but eventually it will become second nature. That's when you level up from the average cyber bro to a full-fledged cyber Spartan. But I digress. Until next time, stay safe, stay paranoid.